Hey guys, welcome back to another video with Infosec Pat. In this video, what we're going to be doing is setting up an Ubuntu server, getting it installed, configured, doing all the updates. And then in a future video, I want us to actually set up a file server and a Samba share and showing you guys how to do all that and setting up the whole server, from soup to nuts. So if you're ready for the start of the video, let's get into it. Alright guys, welcome back. So this is my desktop. Like I said, we're going to be installing Ubuntu Server. In this video, we'll get it set up, do all the updates, and in future, I'll make a video, about how to configure the IP address, statically assign your IP address, change the network, and if you want to do this in VirtualBox, if you want to do it in a VMware, it's the same concept. If you want to do it on an actual server, if you have like a little box at home, you can use Rufus, you can set up a bootable USB, and you can burn it, you can plug it in, boot to it, installing it. But in this video, what we're going to be doing is doing this on VirtualBox. All right, so I'm going to be doing this demonstration on VirtualBox and setting it up and all that good stuff. All right, cool. So let's go to machine. We're going to add a new one. We're going to put Ubuntu Server. All right, so that's fine. Next, I'll put memory. I'll put, I don't know, 9 gigs. That's fine. All right, so create a virtual disk. That's fine. PDI. And put, I'll do 40 gigs. About 45. All right, so now we can just double click on the server and it's going to ask for the image to boot from, because it's going to say, whoop, I don't have nothing to boot to. So what we're going to do is hit this little arrow with the folder. We're going to browse to that. It's in my downloads because I just downloaded the ISO. And where you can download the ISO, I'll tell you that in a second. We can actually go right to, not there. Let me actually open up a different. You can just Google Ubuntu Server download. You can download right from ubuntu.com/download/server, and I'm using Ubuntu Server 19.10. All right, cool. So let's start that. We can give this a go, and we'll walk through this. Oh, I guess not. Doesn't like when I open big. All right, so we'll let that do its thing, and it should walk us through the prompts of getting this bad boy installed. We'll give it a second. Now, I actually haven't set up an Ubuntu server in years, and I'm looking forward to this. This will be fun. All right, so let's see if all right. So I clicked inside the VM and used toggle between with the up and down arrow. So obviously my language is English. So we're gonna choose English, hit enter. And you can read the release notes. You can go ahead and read the release notes, continue without updating. I'm gonna do continue without updating because I wanna do the updating later. And this is all fine. The layout is English. Hit done. That's all fine for right now because we're going to change that. We're going to change that later. Hit done. And the proxy, I don't have a proxy address, so hit done. That's fine. The mirror, which is where all the updates are going to be coming from, that should be fine. Hit done. Use the entire disk. That should be fine. It's a virtual disk of the 45 gigs that I assigned to it. That's fine. And this all looks good. Okay. So hit done. You sure you want to continue? Yes, continue. All right, my name, I'm just going to put Patrick. My server name, I'm going to put Infosec Pat -server. Okay, pick a name, username, Patrick. pick a password. Okay, my fancy password. All right, and then tab all the way to where it says done, hit enter. All right, install OpenSSH. Actually, I want to do this, so we can hit the tab. I'm in the spacebar, and we can install that. Import, no, we don't need this. Can you import it? No. So hit done. And this is pretty much what we're gonna, what the things we're gonna use and install. And we're gonna actually do a few things later. I'm gonna set it up as a file server like Samba, SMB. So we can just tab down to done, okay? And that's if you wanna install any of those packages, okay? Like Kubernetes, et cetera, et cetera. All right, hit done. And now it's gonna go ahead and install the kernel and do all that good stuff. So we'll have to give this a minute because it's installing on the system. And we'll give this a second. And in the meantime, how's everyone doing? I've just been doing, some stuff on Ubuntu because I haven't done Ubuntu in a long time. I've been doing a lot of stuff with Kali and doing some stuff with like Microsoft, and I did a few videos with various things, and I got requests asking about Ubuntu stuff, and I'm like, oh, that'll be cool. I can make some videos on how to install stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And this morning, I just posted my video on installing Google Chrome because someone was having problems. I'm like, it's a very simple process, but I'll make a video, and because I was installing my stuff anyway inside of that VM. I have a few other installs to do as well that I have written down. I may, depending on how simple it is. If it's something super simple, I'm not going to make a video of how to do something super simple. But like OBS Studio, I have a request for that. That's how I actually record my screen and everything like that. And then someone said, oh, I want to learn, I want to set up my own home file server. I'm like, oh, you can use Windows? She said, no, I want to use Linux. I'm like, all right, cool deal. You can use, download Ubuntu Server and set it up and et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, I've never done it. I'm like, oh, it's been a couple of years for me. So let's just make a video, and this is how I am. This is why I am where I am now, installing this and getting this set up for the world and for specific requests. So we'll see how it goes. And once this is done, we'll do the update. We'll change some IPs. We'll change the network first, make sure the network's on the correct network, and I'll show you how to go into the file, etc network interface, blah, blah, blah. So I'll show you guys how to actually get into that interface, the config file, and statically assign an IP address and make sure we can ping out and add the gateway, DNS, and etc. All that good stuff. All right, so this is just going. View full log. All right, so this probably take a few. I haven't done this in, like I said, in years, so I don't know how long it takes now versus how long it took back then. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. Okay, here it goes. It's going. It's going. Pat, be patient. But we'll let it go. Uh-oh, here it goes. It's installing OpenSSH. So aside from all the technology, right, and I said this in a couple of my videos recently, with this whole coronavirus and people losing their jobs, me being one of them, and it's a real bummer, but we have to continue life and search for a position, and this keeps me busy, giving back to the community. It's a real bummer, but it is what it is. I'll live. So cancel and update and reboot. It's downloading the updates. I don't want to cancel the update. I'll let it just do its thing, and I'll show you guys how to do it manually once it's done. And the command is very easy. You can do sudo space apt-get space update space end space sudo apt apt-get upgrade, and it'll do the upgrade and updates all together. And I'll show you that command once this is done. Well, maybe I can cancel and reboot. Let's just do that because I don't want to, let's see, how long we're at now? We're almost at 10 minutes. So let's just hit cancel and reboot, and let it reboot. It's just canceling the update. Once it reboots, we will, hopefully we'll get to a login prompt, and we will be able to log into this bad boy, and I'll show you guys how to, and we'll conclude the video with the apt-get update and the upgrade, and we'll let that do its thing. Once that's going through, I'll finish the video, and then we'll make another video of how to do some modifications inside of Ubuntu Server and all that good stuff, and make some changes, make some tweaks. We'll add SMB, we'll add some Samba, we'll add a share, so we can put this on the same network as like a Windows machine, and then we can go to the UNC path, whack, server name, whack, share name, and then we can try to mount to the share, and we'll put some files in there, and we'll do some cool things. And hopefully this will be helpful for the person that actually requested this. And I just love getting requests, and it keeps me on my toes and keeps you sharp and always learning something, and never stop learning. You don't want to be stagnant. All right, so it's canceling update. We'll see. Hopefully this doesn't take too much longer just to reboot. It says complete, and it says it's rebooting. Let's do view log processing. Okay, so it is rebooting. All right, so let that do its thing. We'll give that a second. This is a pretty tedious process too. If I remember, we're in 2020. I haven't set up an like a Linux server. I'm trying to think. Probably in 6 or 7 years. So it's been a hot minute. It's been a minute since I've done this, and hopefully my memory serves me correctly, and all the processes I'm doing, and if it doesn't, we'll fix it, right? We'll figure it out, what's wrong or what's not working. That's the beauty of IT, and that's the beauty of the career that we chose to be in. Let's hit close. So it's still going. You know what? So I don't have to keep on talking to myself and talking to you guys about boring stuff. I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to resume once this is actually rebooted. I'm not going to press anything. I'm not going to proceed without you guys checking it out. So I want to pause it right here, and we'll be resuming in a second. All right, guys, it's back. It's not back, it's actually rebooting now, so I didn't want you guys to miss anything. It just started rebooting, and I hit record again. So it's rebooting. We'll see. Okay, perfect. All right, Infosec Pat server, login, mounting. It's doing its thing. Snippy daemon. Okay. Hopefully everything boots up and we get a login screen shortly. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. All right, perfect. So this is the login. I want to make sure you can see it. So my login was Patrick, and my password was my fancy password. And one thing, when you do type in your password, you will not get the asterisk going across the screen. So don't get, if you fat finger it, just hit enter and just say, and just put your password in again. All right, so now we're on it, and now we're on the server. So see if you can see here. I don't know if you can see. You know what? I think I have a, not that. Let's see. I have my little Epic pen. So I don't really use this much, but I guess I'll use it right now. So right here, right there, let's erase it now. No. So right there, you see 57 updates, if you can see it. If not, I apologize, but let's actually hit there. So there's 57 updates. So what we can do now, we can do sudo apt-get space update space, I have to look because my backlight broke, end sudo apt-get upgrade. And that's gonna ask you for your fancy password. And now it's gonna go through, it's gonna say agree, yes, do you wanna continue? Yes, enter. And that'll go down its merry way to set up the update, upgrade all the repositories, and all the good stuff. So once this is all done, let's see how long this takes. And once this is done, it'll bring you back to the command prompt, and we'll just type clear, and then we'll call it quits on this video. And then in upcoming videos, actually, before we call it quits, or before we actually finish the video, what I would like to do is check the IP address, but depending on how long this takes, we'll give this a minute and see how long. And if it doesn't finish in the next minute or so, I'll let it do its thing, and we'll start from a brand new video, and we'll get that going, and we'll make all those changes, because this is pretty much how you get the server up and running, updated, upgraded, and all that good stuff. So we'll just finish the video right now. So I'll let this do its thing, and then we'll get on another video to make some of the changes. All right. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully this has been helpful if you're trying to set up an Ubuntu server. Remember, this is Ubuntu Server 19.10. So if you have any questions, if you have any errors, if you have anything, concerns about your installation, if you're trying to follow along, shoot me a comment, shoot me a message on Instagram or Twitter or any of my social media. Oh, cool. Here it is. Bada bing. All right, so it's good. So I'll do this really quick. We'll do an IP address. So by default, I think I've said this a trillion times, but by default, let me actually get my pen, and let's do this. So by default, oh my God, Mingy, that's no bueno. Let's do this, and let's do pen. See if I can change my color. All right there, if you can see, wait, more over here. You see 10.0.2.15. So let's erase. By default, that's the IP address that you get in VirtualBox. All right. So what I'm going to do, because obviously I don't want it on that subnet, on that IP space, that IP address space, I want to go to machine settings, view, network. See how it says NAT here? I'm going to do NAT network and Infosec Pat. And this is the network I want it on. Okay. So we'll save that. We may have to restart, but let's do an if config, see if that works. Of course not. So we'll do sudo apt install net-tools. We'll let that, I just like if config. So now we can see it's on, let me do this. I wish I had, right there is 192.168.99.14. All right, so I'll erase that. Let's go, I want to open up my Windows command prompt really quick, just so we can see if we can communicate with that IP. 192.168.99. What is it, 14? And it's not pinging. Well, let's give it a second. Oh, I'm an idiot. If I can 88 and I put 99. Let's do 99.514. Let's give it a second to ARP. Maybe there's a firewall. Yeah, there might be a firewall on it. But with that being said, let's make sure if I can ping Google. Make sure all that's working. Okay, cool. So if I do IP route, we can see, okay, so it's going. I just wanted to make sure, there's a few things I'm gonna have to touch up, but that's pretty much it. I don't want to keep going because then I'll start setting it up and configure it, and I want to make that a separate video. This is the initial install for Ubuntu Server. All right, so guys, just again, like, subscribe, share, do the whole shebang. I just love doing this for you guys, and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be in contact soon. Thanks, guys.